Hey everyone, this is Rob,
And Michelle.
and welcome to Bunebape, your weekly podcast and everything you need to know about old school RuneScape. All right, so this week up on the docket, of course, as always, we're going to be starting off with stuff that we have to update you with this week for us. I don't know why I said that so roundabout. Either way, we'll be updating you on our progress this
Personal
week.
account updates.
Yeah, personal accounts and any real life stuff, which I don't think is any, but we also have some other stuff to go over with you from the news blogs. As always, this one's going to be the future of official account builds. So I think we talked about this either a week or two ago.
I think it was a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, I think that's when it failed the poll. So we'll be talking about its return and its revisions. And then we'll be going over poll 78, the update for this week. That's
Yay!
pretty exciting. They already added a bunch of the stuff that they already talked about. So this is really exciting how fast they're coming out with this update. So that's pretty cool. And then finally, we have Forestry.
Yeah, we have the first really expansive forestry blog post.
Yeah, so this is a really big blog post. It actually tells us pretty much everything we need to know except for like XP rates and stuff like that. But it does tell us everything that will go into it, all of the types of events, all of the gear, everything.
It's going to be so expansive. I'm so excited.
Yeah, so it seems like almost a complete overhaul of the skill almost. But it is going to be pretty cool to see.
Mining win.
Yeah, mining win really.
Where is the ministry?
So we're going to be going over all that, of course, and end off with our typical Q&A.
Yep.
Of course, if you want to participate in the Q&A ever, make sure to shoot us a question over on any of our socials.
Literally anywhere, even in the comments here.
Yeah, comments here. Wherever you're listening to, you can probably get in contact with us there.
Yep.
But before we get into any of that, Michelle, how's it going?
It's going super, super well. Huge news.
Okay.
Well, I was going to be sarcastic. But actually, kind of big news. We won our bingo.
Oh.
That's kind of actually huge.
Yeah, I guess so. For anyone that doesn't know, she was participating in like a bingo style game for RuneScape.
Yeah, it was like a card game created by Alicia Lux. She's on Twitch. But yeah, we ended up winning. I didn't feel the best about winning because I feel like we maybe got a little too serious compared to other teams.
There were sore winners.
I was trying not to be like a couple people on the team. I was like, hey, stop. And like messaging other leaders and being like, I'm sorry. But yeah, I mean, overall, it was really fun. I would love to take part in another bingo in the future. And probably won't be as lucky next time, but it is fun because it just like encourages you to go and do a bunch of bosses.
Yeah.
Like I was doing like Sarachnis and Giant Mole and all that, trying to grind for pets. Did not get any of those pets, but you know, now I kind of have like a new goal whenever I'm not raiding. I'm like, oh, maybe I'll just go and like grind for pets at those bosses or the Chaos Ellie pet.
Yeah, I think that's one of the things that most people like about like treasure hunt style or bingo style games, where it just makes you do stuff that you don't normally do.
Exactly. It makes you remember like, oh, this stuff's kind of fun.
Yeah, like the chances of you doing Sarachnis without this event was probably almost zero.
I know, like, Sarachnis is fun, but I'm like, oh, I'd rather go and do raids. So this was a good reason to be like, we need extra points, we need a pet, let's go do a bunch of Sarachnis.
Yeah, also, yeah, Sarachnis does have one of the better pets in the game.
I love the pet. It's super cute. But yeah, it was a lot of fun. We won by a decent amount, which was pretty cool. And I can't wait for the next one. But other than that, after the bingo, I've just been raiding again. Yeah. Typical things, just raiding.
Typical raider life.
Yeah, we got a ring split, 1.5 mil each.
Yeah.
We actually got a second ring and nobody split it. And I like even awkwardly was like, yo, I'll take that split. And no one said anything. So I was like, I just won't bring it up again. Because I'm like, I'm still saving up for staff.
Yeah.
I'll take it. But yeah, we were doing like a lot of sweaty-ish raids last week, like 400. So this week, at the beginning of the week, at least, like, I was trying to do chiller ones, like 200s, 300s. But we did send some sweaty ones. And in a sweaty raid, my 75th expert, I got the TOA pet.
Nice. The Tumakin's Guardian.
Yeah. It's my first ever raids pet. I'm so excited about it. Like, no way am I going to be, no way am I going to be doing the metamorphosis. What is it called? The transmogus for a while?
No, it's the metamorphosis.
Okay, yeah. Because you have to do like 450 deathless with all the invos for that boss on, and it has to be like level 4. So I'm like, I need more practice for that.
I can see how some of them would be tough.
It sucks because the one that I want the most is Kefri, and I heard that Kefri's one of the worst to get.
Really?
Yeah. Because Medic's awful.
Yeah, I was like, probably because of the healing and stuff like that. But
yeah.
Do you have to do them solo?
No.
Well, then, I mean, that's not as bad.
Yeah, but I think it has to be deathless the whole time, and I haven't been able to do a 450 deathless yet.
It
Because
has
I
to-
need to
the
do...
whole thing has to be deathless?
Mhm.
Oh, I
Yeah.
thought you just had
Makes
to
it a
do.
lot
I thought you just
harder.
had to do the room deathless.
No, so I'm gonna have to go with like huge gamers and have them like feeding me ambrosias the entire raid probably. It just sucks. I need to I still need to go and get like my ward recolor. That's a 425 deathless. I think I've completely survived like one 420, but I mean like other people died in the raid, so it didn't really matter.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I'm gonna be practicing that more. I actually was gonna do that last night, but I only streamed for half an hour because my stomach started hurting, so whoops.
Yeah.
But last night I ended up working on a bunch of YouTube stuff. Like we had one more video, one more short come out. But I finished recording for my actual video. I finished recording. We just have to edit it because I don't really know how we're going to edit it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I said like hopefully it'd be out by this week. I mean, we're almost there. We're done filming at least. And I feel like that's the more time consuming part for sure.
Oh, okay.
I mean, I don't know, is it?
Yeah, so Michelle just has no idea what she's talking about.
Hey, I don't. That's what I'm asking.
Yeah, I mean, maybe it takes longer to do.
I mean, it took me like 10 hours.
Yeah, I was like, maybe it takes longer to do the thing, but yeah, I don't know. Editing can be pretty long.
For sure. I also went and edited myself 3, I think, different shorts, but I'm not good at adding audio to them. So I just like uploaded in the drive and I was like, can you please add audio?
She just adds 0 audio and then has me do it.
Yeah. Well, the other day I created one and Robert was like, oh, this sucks, and like completely changed it. So this one I'm like, I'm proud of my editing, just add audio. Because I tried to add audio and it just sounds weird. Like, it doesn't, I'm like not good at choosing music to go with it.
It's funny because for anyone that has ever like done video editing, it's like, it's kind of funny because whenever you watch a clip that you think would be a good clip, you kind of get an idea of how you want it done. So it's kind of actually makes it more difficult that you've already made the clip.
Oh, really?
Because if you think about it, now I have to now I have to custom do all of whatever I'm going to do per the clip instead of making my own.
He's good at adding like extra audio things. I was literally just going to add normal music to the background.
Yeah, it's really cool.
Don't be sassy. I actually added extra things to 2 of them. You'll see. I'm excited about it. I spent like hours doing this, so I hope that you actually like
years. It's years in the making.
No, I spent like 5 hours doing it though. I'm very slow editing, clearly.
That's cool.
I'm still learning, but it was actually a lot of fun. I was feeling really motivated last night. It was very, very cool, and I enjoyed it. So I'm excited to hopefully put those out soon, and hopefully figure out how I want music to be, so I can just start doing it myself and not have to wait for you.
Wow.
Because I do feel bad that I'm like, will you go ahead music? I've never listened to music before.
I could tell.
I was like, whenever I told him before, I had like an idea for it. And he was like, no, we're going to do something completely different.
Yeah, it wasn't good.
Hey, I think you'll like these ones though. But that's
it? You didn't get any skills or anything?
I don't think I leveled up a single thing this week.
Oh, that's embarrassing.
I was working on some mining earlier today, but yeah, that was it. What have you been up to this week?
I have been, not bossing. I've been, just been playing my GM a little bit, and I went and actually did a few more Guardians of the Rift, a few more Winter Tot, so I actually got a few levels there. I think I'm up to it's like 60 rune crafting and stuff like that now, as well as almost halfway to max fire making.
Is that the goal for now?
Not really. I'm kind of just playing when I can. I don't really have like really set goals at the moment.
You're just hanging out doing whatever.
I mean, I kind of am slowly working my way towards 70s or base 70s for like the stuff that I can do. That's like not including things like construction or herb lore, because both of those are kind of annoying to get to right now.
I thought those were the easiest iron skills.
I mean, honestly, construction isn't that bad. I just have to get all the planks, which costs a lot of money and also kind of a lot of time. So
yeah,
eventually I will do that, and it won't be like the last thing I do. But yeah, that's just not something I'm super focused on right now.
That's fair.
Yeah, so it's actually going pretty well so far, just like slowly getting up my skills. And I even did a quest this weekend, which I wasn't planning on to, but I kind of just wanted to do it. So I got
what was the quest? Was it a big one?
No, it's just the Intrana quest and Lane Journey.
Oh, okay.
So I got that out of the way.
You're like, yeah, chef's assistant.
Chef's assistant?
Cook's assistant.
Oh,
Dang
that's
it.
really embarrassing. What game have you been playing?
Oh my god, I've never played RuneScape before. Stop it. Oh my god.
You're like, well, so I started a character on the Horde. I'm a World of Warcraft player now.
Please.
But either way, yeah, not chef's, not
Stop
chef's
it.
assistant.
Stop it. I've never played this game. This is like that one clip that I said how half of 99 is 93. And everyone was like, what?
Well, it is.
I thought 92 was.
No, I think it's technically the very, very beginning of 93.
Okay, but what's the meme?
Well, it's 92.
Okay.
Yeah, everyone knows it as 92 because it's like the literal like first like 0.1% of 93, I think, is technically the like XP point wise halfway point.
Robert hit them with the, well, technically.
Yeah. I think
Technically, I was right.
I think I read something about that like last year that someone's like, actually technically it's 93, but I
Yeah.
mean no one ever says 93, so
We will stick 92. So whenever I accidentally said 93, I would just have like the biggest brain in the world.
yeah, I mean if you galaxy brained them like that and planned on it, then yeah, but you didn't, so
Hey, if subconsciously my
Oh.
galaxy brain took over.
yeah, galaxy
yeah.
subconscious.
For sure. It's a thing.
Yeah, so I've just been working on that, did a few quests. I am hopefully going to be doing more quests this weekend as well and working my way towards the bigger quests as well as the cape and stuff like that. I actually have everything done except, again, I think I said this last week, but for magic and like one other thing, I forgot, a Slayer, I think it is.
Mm-hmm.
So I just need a few magic levels and then Slayer, which luckily they go hand in hand. But I've been doing Wintertot so that hopefully I can get a book of fire. Hopefully.
Tome of Fire? What game are you playing?
No, it's a book of fire.
Don't mess with me. It's Tome of Fire.
Yeah, so
God, you had me doubting for a second.
I think we actually have 2 of those on the GIM account, which is nice. So I don't need to farm it, but I just am, and also that's also why I'm doing Gardens of the Rift, so I can get more runes for whenever I do go to get higher level mage.
Oh,
so.
smart.
Yeah, so that's why I've been doing those 2 things, and yeah, just gonna keep working on those. Also, I've been playing actually a lot of other games. I've been playing a lot of League of Legends recently.
Oh, yeah? How's
Yeah.
that? I thought that was Valheim. I don't know what games look like.
Well, I've been playing both. I've been playing Valheim and League of Legends. For anyone wondering or asking, I main Shaco in the jungle, and yeah. And
Talking about other games sounds so weird to me. I mean, Shaco in the jungle.
yeah, it just
Sounds
means
like you're speaking in
I
code.
jump out of bushes and I play a clown that stabs people.
Oh my god, that's horrifying.
Yeah.
Oh.
So that's pretty much what that means. But either way, also I've been playing a bunch of Valheim. If anyone still hasn't bought Valheim and is interested in like any survival type games, like any games where you survive for an amount of time, like the forest and stuff like that.
After playing The Forest, watching Robert play Valheim does look way more fun.
Yeah, like if you like the forest, or I mean even Minecraft to an extent, or any games along that genre, then you would probably like Valheim, unless you're like, I hate Vikings. Then in that case maybe you wouldn't like it. But yeah.
Vikings are the worst.
Yeah, I mean maybe you do think that. You know what's funny? This is gonna be the most obscure random fact, but
Okay.
I think it'd be hilarious for you to know. You know Bluetooth, right?
Yeah, like Bluetooth.
Yeah, Bluetooth. You know
Okay.
how it has like a weird symbol?
Yeah.
That's actually a Viking rune because Bluetooth is named after a Viking that took over a large portion of Scandinavia and the Norwegian area, and his name was Bluetooth.
Is that legit or made up?
I swear.
Someone fact check this.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
I mean, Bluetooth is like a pirate name, so I could see that.
Yeah, his name was Bluetooth, and he was the father to the first Viking king of England.
That's so weird.
Yeah, crazy.
Oh, and now
Crazy.
I listen to music in my car because of him.
Yep. Yeah, I don't know why they chose him or chose his, a rune and his name for that, for, the technology we use nowadays. But yeah, that's where it came
That
from.
is so random.
Yeah. But yeah, either way, that's the bizarre fact of the day. And with that, I think we'll move on to the actual blog post this week.
Yep. So this blog post is the future of account builds. Official account builds, sorry.
Official.
During last year's Winter Summit, we unveiled a little something called Official Account Builds. This project intended to provide official support to players who enjoy customizing and maintaining alternative playstyles similar to the various Iron game modes that are currently available. Out of everything polled in the Giga poll, this was the only question that failed with a pass rate of 66.8%.
Still pretty close.
Actually pretty close, right? This means that the system we pulled won't be coming to the game, but we still plan to support the niche playstyle communities who would have benefited from this update. On February 15th, we'll be expanding the high score system to include additional filtering options. So 1 defense peers, accounts that have not earned a level in defense, and level 3 skillers, accounts with no levels in combat skills. This is a big change for everyone who'd like to dip their feet into some alternative playstyles. You'll be able to see where your official rank sits relative to other members of the community, and who knows, might even spark some competition. We'd like to thank our fantastic web team for the hard work on this change, and we can't wait to shine a light on different ways to play old school. But now, let's talk about how we got where we are now and what we'd like to do next.
Yeah, and the next chapter is called Where We Went Wrong.
Ominous beginnings.
And I kind of want to, this is like, off my chest kind of stuff, but I've seen so many posts, and I don't know if these people are the people that voted no, but I have to believe at least a part of the people that voted no is because of this. But a lot of people are saying that they voted no or don't like the fact that it would have like nullified all of like the other people, like the original like custom account builds. And it's just mind blowing to me because at no point did they say they're going to remove custom builds. So you could still technically do, whatever type of pure or whatever type of skiller account you were already doing anyways. You don't have to be on these leaderboards.
No, they have to.
Like it was mind blowing. Like maybe someone needs to explain to me, because I got like a small brain or something, about how this would affect those accounts at all, besides them not being on those particular leaderboards.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, either way, that was just something that I was like, this is just crazy to me that people are like saying that you can only have one without the other. And it definitely seems to me like you could easily have both.
Well, we're going to get into it, aren't we?
Oh, yeah. All right, so we are back from our little intermission. It is the next day, but
yeah, Robert just got way too heated with that rant. We just had to shut it down.
Yeah. Well, yeah. So it's been no time for you, but a full day for us. Luckily, I don't think any new stuff has come out since.
No new updates. Not that I saw, at least. I did refresh it. I
Yeah.
got 90 Hunter though.
Yeah. So Michelle got 90 Hunter. I did not play at all, and it is Thursday. So let us continue on where we left off. Continuing on from where we went wrong, actually.
Where they went wrong, not us.
Yeah, where they went wrong in the blog. So they do say that implementing the official account build systems would have let us open up a whole plethora of new ways for players to change themselves without bogging the development team down. Although the official account builds failed the poll and will not be coming to the game, we saw a lot of support for what the system was trying to achieve. This is, after all, something that the niche playstyle community has been looking forward to for some time, and we think the underlying system has huge potential. Imagine if you could hop into Lumbridge and easily set up a Tileman challenge or automatically lock your account to save Mauritania.
That'd be cool.
Yeah, both.
Honestly, if you could do stuff like that, I might be more inclined to like make a video series like that.
Yeah, both of those obviously are not even hints, just directly talking about Settled's two most popular series. The newest one being the Tileman.
Oh, yeah, I forgot they were both by him, huh?
And the other one being Swampletics. So yeah, those accounts became really, really popular after those video series came out or when they started. So it would make them a lot more easy for people to get into without having to download mods or anything like that, or wonder if something is or isn't part of restrictions. So
yeah,
that'll definitely make it a lot easier. They continue on to say that the possibilities really are limitless, but it was clear that there is a lot of concern around our pitched design. We shouldn't have already created fleshed out designs, so we'd like to explore the possibility of bringing back official account builds with a different design. We want to hear directly from you and what this update should and shouldn't include. We'll employ the community consultation strategy we're using for the new skill to gather your feedback and create an official account builds system that works for everyone.
Yeah, they really jumped the gun before.
Yeah, they kind of did, but I also don't think they were planning it on encompassing so many things. I think they were just like, oh, let's make official things for 10 hit points and skillers, and then it became kind of more
its
than
own
they
thing.
Yeah, way more than they intended.
It got kind of out of hand.
They say, in fact, we plan to kickstart this plan right now. At the bottom of this news post, you'll find a survey where you can tell us your thoughts on the future of official account builds. Have a read through the next section where we'll discuss potential new approaches and let the thoughts percolate before you give us your feedback.
Percolate?
Yeah, that's what
Is
coffee
that a
does.
drug?
No. So if you guys are interested in account builds or just want to give your thoughts, then you can do that over on this blog or through the usual channels.
Perfect.
We can move on to clarifications and potential changes, though.
Yeah, so before we look at our proposed changes to the official account build's design, let's have a look at what's already changed following your initial feedback. We've got a whole blog about it here, which if you click this news post, you can find it. But if you don't fancy reading all at the moment, here is a recap for you. We removed 10 hit point peers from the roster of supported restrictions. Restricted builds are no longer able to complete quests or equip gear that they lack the requirements for. We plan to pull items that fall outside the set restriction, such as the heavy ballista. We added prestige and non-prestige indications, both in-game and for the high scores.
Yeah. I think overall this was a good idea. One, because obviously the most problems people had with was the 10 hit point pures. And secondly,
Yeah, I think that's why mostly it got voted down.
I agree. And secondly, I think their second point, where they restricted builds to no longer be able to complete quests they normally wouldn't be, or equip gear they normally wouldn't be, as they lack the requirements for it. I think that made really little sense to me.
Oh, before? Yeah.
Yeah, because like, I mean, it was kind of cool because then obviously you can complete like Monkey Madness if you were like a certain peer or something like that, which would
Yeah.
be cool.
But it's kind of defeating the purpose.
Yeah, it's like that would never happen on the original ones, so that just kind of doesn't make sense. And on top of that, if you're able to use gear you normally wouldn't, then that would just completely change and destroy the whatever meta there is for that account. Like you might as well just not have that account at that point. But yeah, so I think that was honestly a really good idea.
Yeah, those were just some of the main points too. They said, like, again, reiterating, as they mentioned, they want to get additional feedback. So reach out to them if you have ideas for this.
Yes.
I have absolutely no feedback because
Me
I'm
neither.
not a part of this community.
Yeah, I have no idea.
One of the builds available in the original design was called 10 hit point pure, and as the name suggests, these accounts were unable to raise their hit point above 10 by gaining XP and hit points. There's already a passionate community of 10 hit point pures, and they've come up with some fantastically creative solutions over years of experimentation. However, concerns were raised over two key features of the original design. Making it easier to avoid gaining XP devalue the dedication to that existing community that they've put into their accounts. And lower level PvP would have been seriously effective, creating a 10 hit point pure was more accessible.
Yeah, and I agree much more on the second point. The first one, it kind of just again seems like you just have leaderboards for several ones. Like if you have like one that's an official build and then one that's not an official build, everyone that like cares about that will know which one is more valuable.
I was like, I'm not part of the community, so I'm really not that invested in it. But for that one, I was just like kind of thinking what you were saying, like a way to market, because just because people put so much time into coming up with this methods doesn't mean that change can't happen.
Yeah, I don't.
Yeah.
It's kind of weird. Like
I have a similar thought whenever we start talking about forestry later, actually.
yeah, it's kind of like people thinking that you can't have one thing without the other when you could easily have
You got
both.
both.
Yeah, that's like kind of like when people have those arguments where like one thing is bad and the other thing is worse. It's like no, they can both be pretty bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're not mutually exclusive. The next thing is going to be experience and restrictions. So lots of you were concerned that the official account build system would allow restriction accounts to complete complete content they'd ordinarily have to avoid. This is our fault. We failed to properly explain this aspect of the update. To clarify, restricted builds will not be able to complete quests or equip gear they lack the requirements for,
Kind of like what we just said.
Yeah, which makes way more sense. They go on to say that let's imagine a one defense pure account. They won't be able to do anything that has a hard defense requirement. For example, lunar diplomacy, which requires 40 defense, would be unavailable. They also wouldn't be able to equip Barrow's Gloves, which is 41 defense. That said, not all content is as restricted as it first appears. There are some areas, especially in legacy content, that could be adjusted, especially if it blocks skilling content unnecessarily. One of the biggest requests we see is for Nature's Spirit. A quest that players feel locks them out of an area that should be accessible to certain account builds. We've looked into it and feel it's a fair criticism, and there's a couple of different ways to address the issue.
What area is locked out by that? Do you know?
Nature's Spirit? Well, more...
That's Daenerys?
Mauritania.
No, oh, that's more... Oh.
Yeah, you can't
what
do
was
it
I
without...
thinking of?
I was like, you can't get there.
I was thinking
on
of that
a lot of
Tangaroo
builds.
spirit thing.
Yeah.
That tree guy.
Yeah, so a lot of accounts can't even get to Nature's Spirit and do the quest or anything, or even unlock it or anything like that.
Can't even look at it.
Yeah, just because, and that's like a part of a lot of builds, but it's also something that'd be nice if it just wasn't in an entirely different zone you can't get to.
Yeah, definitely.
Firstly, we could change all combat experience from quest to XP lamps, or adjust quests on a case by case basis. I think that would be
I'm not
better.
opposed to that. I mean, I
I,
think
I,
maybe the
I think,
case by case.
yeah, I think the XP lamps wouldn't be a good idea.
And I don't think it'd be a good idea completely, but for a couple, probably. I'm sure
Yeah,
there's some that don't really make sense how they reward you.
yeah, it's a case by case basis to only offer combat experience in the form of lamps, which I think would be better than just free XP lamps or something like that.
No, that's what I think that they mean. Is that instead of being like you get 10,000 defense hit or defense XP, you get a lamp for combat skills worth 10,000 at the end of the quest.
No, yeah, that's what I'm saying. I think that's better um, than just experience from quest to XP lamps. Because it's saying, firstly, we could change all combat experience from quest to XP lamps, or adjust quests on a case by case basis to only offer combat experience in the form of lamps.
It sounds like they were saying the same thing twice. What I took that is either they're going to do it for all of them or some of them.
I don't know.
Whatever, it doesn't matter.
Yeah,
This is still something they're just talking about, and we're clearly confusing ourselves.
yeah. Either way, I took it as kind of like what you're saying, where they get quest experience from or in the form of lamps for combat
Mm-hmm.
experience. That wouldn't be their own or the one that they're peering in.
Yeah.
They go on though to say that you may remember that we recently made a similar change to Monkey Madness 1, where you can now take Darrow's training and return to Apatol without gaining combat XP.
Yeah.
I don't know. This does seem good, probably for some people, but also I feel like a lot of people would just rather not get the experience, like at all.
I like the experience.
Well, I mean,
Is it optional?
you're not up here, so
That's true.
it doesn't matter to you.
I know. I feel like this entire section, low key, our opinions just don't matter because I don't think either of us have any interest in ever having a peer.
Yeah, true. I do like to think about what they would want though, but yeah, I don't know personally.
Yeah.
They finish off by saying that these changes don't negate the requirements for content. They just make doing the content a viable option for restricted accounts. All it does is open a new area for players to explore. This is one of the topics we're especially interested in gathering feedback on, so be sure to check out the survey at the end of this blog if you have any opinions you'd like to share. Yeah, so I don't know. It seems interesting, like still getting rewarded for quests in a meaningful way, but also it's like, again, it's like that wouldn't really happen on any of the regular accounts, so
Yeah, I don't know.
it's kind of a weird spot.
They go on to talk about the prestige shared high scores. So there was some confusion about the idea of prestige and how it works alongside high scores, and they want to clear that up a bit. Originally, the concept was that you'd hold prestige status for as long as you're able to stick the restrictions you'd applied to the account. However, if you were to do a piece of content that broke that restriction, you'd lose prestige even though the XP would be blocked. For example, if a 1 defense peer completed Nature Spirit, they'd lose their prestige, but the account would remain a 1 defense peer, and they could still finish the quest and unlock any relevant content. Following your feedback, however, we'd like to offer an alternate prestige system. Pause for a second. I don't think that was the worst, just for people who aren't that serious about it and just want to try combat with low levels.
Yeah, but also it's like, what are you trying to do at that point?
Well, just for fun. Just to see, like, how mobs are and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess
And like, because
so.
most people care about it, like they're part of like that community and stuff. If somebody was just like, oh, just for fun, I want to like go and try to do Jad with 1 defense.
I don't know. The only reason I'm like mainly not interested, I'm not necessarily against things like this or like the quest experience being exclusive to whatever pure form you're in. But the only reason this just seems kind of lame to me is it'd be the equivalent for me to being like, oh, I'm an Iron Man, but I'm just trying it out so I can like trade gear every once in a while. It's like just kind of like a weird in between like gray area where it's like you're kind of defeating the purpose almost
That's
of
true.
doing whatever you're doing. So it's like you can play a main build like an Iron Man and still trade every once in a while if that's what you want to do, but you are just playing a main. Like
Yeah.
you're not actually in this case a pure.
Like how now I don't ever sell my bird nest and I keep all my herbs. That's me on my main pretending to be an iron.
Yeah, it's like you're trying to be what you're not. Like
Trying
you
to
might
be
as well.
thrifty.
You should either just commit to doing whatever you're doing, in my opinion, obviously, or
Robert's trying to tell me to go sell my bird's nest.
no. I mean,
And I say no.
Do whatever you want. I'm just saying, like you're like pretending to be something you're not. Like
Yeah.
you're just not a defense pure.
You're a poser.
I mean, yeah. I mean, and that's kind of what this prestige system is. It's like
Posers are taking over RuneScape.
yeah. I mean, the prestige system, I guess, is cool in concept, but also it kind of just like is like, why are you even doing a one defense pure if you're not going to play it like a one defense pure?
Yeah. Okay, true. I mean, they're not doing the idea anymore anyway. I just wanted to share my thoughts.
Yeah.
But the alternate prestige system, one approach would be to give prestige to those players who adhere to set restrictions and earn no XP in their chosen skills. If you gain XP in any restricted skills, you'll lose your prestige. This maintains the challenge while forgiving players for earning a small amount of XP by accident. However, should you gain a full level in a restricted skill, you would lose your restricted account status altogether and be removed from the high scores. Of
Yeah, that
course,
seems more appropriate.
I agree, but it's funny because the way they like put in italics, if you gain a full level, like it wouldn't just take one hit of a cow to level up.
Yeah, pretty much. I think someone. I think
Olivia is trying to do one defense, and
oh yeah, they got the 2 defense.
or no, she's only training defense, and she accidentally got her attack up.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I've seen it where someone like accidentally like spec'd in defense or something like that and got like 5 defense levels in like 1 second.
jeez,
Yeah.
that sucks.
Unfortunate.
It's really easy to accidentally level up.
Yeah, because when that happens, it's like there's no going back. You just ruined the account. Like you just have to remake your account.
Yeah, or just have to awkwardly explain to people like, so that happened.
Yeah. No,
Pretend
yeah.
it didn't.
Yeah, your account's just ruined.
Of course, if we opt to block actions that would gain a player XP in a restricted skill, the prestige system would be irrelevant. As for the high scores, there are 2 different reasons we chose to group prestige and non-prestige together. The first being that current technical limitations make this the simplest solution, and that we'd have to create prestige and non-prestige variants for each individual restriction, which would leave the high scores bloated and overcomplicated. If we were to implement this system, you'll still be able to tell which players have prestige via distinct chat icons. We'll also look at more advanced filtering systems, which will allow you to clearly distinguish between different players on the high scores.
I'm still not even like a fan of this because they're saying that you lose prestige if you accidentally gain some experience in like the thing that you're trying to not gain experience in.
Even if you don't level up.
Yeah.
Which I think happens to a lot of people.
Yeah, that happens to a lot of like if you hit
they don't level
something-
up, but they get like 5 XP in it and they're like, huh.
Yeah, like if you accidentally like are on attack and then get like 5 XP, like you would break prestige because of that, which doesn't make sense because that I don't feel like that's worthy of breaking prestige. Like you're still one attack. So
Yeah.
that seems kind of silly. Overall, I'm not a big fan of a lot of these changes. I don't know.
There's a little bit more though.
Yeah.
So another point of contention was the concept of doing an interaction without gaining experience from it. You felt that this went against the spirit of the restrictions and allowed restricted builds to content that would normally be inaccessible without consequence. That's a completely fair point. We don't want to diminish the hours of theory crafting and testing from the restricted account communities. In fact, we think that's one of the most impressive parts of the game mode. We think we can retain this challenge while also still giving restricted players tools to help them avoid mistakes. Firstly, we'd like to explore blocking any action that could give players experience in their restricted skill. So if you decide on no woodcutting, you would not be allowed to chop trees ever. This gets a bit more complicated when it comes to questing, but it's something we'd be willing to explore. The second alternative would only block combat skills. So if you're a 1 defense pure, you wouldn't be able to use any attack option that would usually grant defense XP. I think this would give restricted accounts a bit more security, knowing that a misclick won't result in them accidentally leveling the wrong skill. I like that a lot.
Yeah.
That would have literally helped Sylvia with her account.
Yeah.
It's just like one simple misclick. Please know that it will take us some time to thoroughly investigate these options as they're much more complex than what we offered initially. Consequently, we really need to know if there's something you want to prioritize, and yeah, be sure to tell them in the survey, if your thoughts on this.
Yeah. They finished off by saying that about voting and niche communities. When niche content like this comes to a poll, it's understandable that players who don't engage with it might not be interested. In past polls, we've seen that smaller communities tend to be overshadowed by the majority, and this means that content aimed at them. Yeah, literally. Going forward, we're asking that you keep an open mind about these niche communities. If you're not sure what the implications of a poll question could mean, just skip it.
Fair.
Yeah, that's pretty much
That's what I'm planning on doing.
Either way, though, give them your feedback. That was kind of a long one. Also, I guess my overall opinion of this entire blog is it kind of just feels like they're trying to give the community something they don't want, or I don't know. I don't want them to feel like they're doing a bad job, but it just seems like they're doing a bad job.
Dang, okay.
I think what people want is they just want official restricted accounts. Like you don't need to do all this crazy stuff with like some quest
All you have to
count.
do is mark it
Just
as a 10 or 1 hit point build.
yeah, like you
Yeah.
need to be like if your hit points get over 10, then you're disqualified. Like it
Yeah.
just needs to be
Let
that.
us know if we're mistaken.
Yeah, it just seems like people that are trying to be restricted just want the restrictions to be official. Like
Mm-hmm.
you don't need to do all this extra like some quests count, some quests don't kind of stuff. But I think what would be kind of cool to like help introduce new people to this type of game is like add things like maybe if you're a skiller specific build, just straight up remove all of the combat styles. Like just make it so that there's like
That'd be cool.
no possible way that you could attack something unless you like go to a tutor
And you say you want to give up.
yeah and remove the restrictions because like there's in no way anytime you'd ever want to attack something as a skiller
Very true.
like that or
Because
and then
other games have like official account builds, right? Like
yeah,
if
yes
you
and
wanted
no.
to do something in another game, would it still let you?
Like
That
in
was
other
such a vague question.
yeah I was like what
I don't play other games. I don't know. Never mind. That was a weird question.
yeah, I was like,
don't know how to word it
yes
better.
yes and no. But yeah, I don't know. Or like maybe if as when you're gonna go do a quest and it rewards combat experience, like it should like highlight the quest in red and be like, this is something you might not want to do.
Don't do this quest.
Or just yeah, or like remove it from the quest log entirely or something like
That
that.
could work.
Like that would be some suggestions that I could see them being like, oh, this will help introduce new players to this like combat or this type of game mode. And I'm like, I could kind of get behind that, but also it's like all these weird niche things about like which quests can or can't be done because they will or won't reward you experience in like this weird way that they're trying to like do. It's like, no, if I did a 10 hit point build, I would want it to just be 10 hit points. Like all these weird restrictions are like
Too much.
seem unnecessary.
But anyway, moving on to this week's update, the Pulse 78 update, and more. There already been a few hotfixes, naturally, just like some NPCs missing, random stuff like that that have been fixed. There's also one though, it's still being investigated. It says that a hotfix is deployed, but it's still investigating.
This is actually a really big problem right now, and yeah, it's really really annoying. But there's a poison resistance bug in the game currently, where it's affected places like Muspa, Barbarian Assault, as well as like Chinchampas. It's like weird places. But for instance, the Chinchampa one hasn't been, I don't think has been fixed. But essentially, what people can do is go up to Chinchampas, hit them with poison, and have it affect all of the Chinchampas with poison, and they'll all just continually spawn and die forever.
What?
Yeah. Like
Oh.
if they spawn and immediately hop into your trap, then you can get them, but if not, they'll die like a few ticks later.
It says that the Chinchampa one's already been fixed, but it seems like they're investigating the other one still. That's hilarious. I wish I would have seen that.
Yeah, like people were saying that
That
for,
is so weird.
for like the black chin area, like you couldn't
You can't catch it because they're just dying?
no, yeah, like people were hopping like to every world and all of them were just like dying over and over
That's
again.
nuts.
Yeah.
I'm sure that was fixed pretty quickly.
Yeah, I don't know. Some people were saying that it was lasting for a while. but-
Apparently something's still being investigated. Probably the other places.
It's not fully fixed. Like also people were saying for Barbarian Assault, you could easily just whenever you're playing healer, just re-poison all of the healer mobs over and over again.
That's what
but
you normally do.
That's how you normally do it. But it was bugged so that it would reset your poisons after every time you reapplied it.
So you just couldn't finish.
So you'd have to like poison it, wait exactly 3 seconds until the poison was done, and then reapply.
Oh, that's so frustrating.
Yeah.
Another thing that has not been fixed yet, it says players have reported strange visual bugs with some temporary inventory, such as the trade interface, and this is going to be fixed with a cold fix on the 10th, so tomorrow.
Yeah, some weird bugs.
Yeah.
I don't even know how that would even be bugged, but it is.
But anyway, moving on to Pulse 78, which I'm very excited.
Yeah, a bunch of quality of life stuff that we got recently.
First up is one of the most requested features. If you completed the medium, hard, or elite tiers of the RD Achievement Diary, you'll now be able to hold 56, 84, and 140 coin pouches, respectively. So, if you didn't know before, you could only hold 28 whenever you're thieving the RD Knights, and it was really annoying. And this is probably going to be annoying in 2 weeks once we're used to it, but
Yeah.
today it's exciting.
Yeah. Also, the fact that they're still standing behind them saying that they need coin pouches for anti-botting practices is mind-blowing.
They said that they're going to be keeping pouches for sure for the foreseeable future.
Yeah, it is
Oh, well.
mind-blowing. It says their anti-cheating team will be keeping them. It's like, what bots are getting the RD Elites done?
Also, like, how much gold can they possibly make there that you can't just reward other people too?
If the bots are getting RD Elites done, then you have way more problems
Yeah.
than auto-clicking for thieving. It is crazy.
But in other news, the one that I'm really, really excited about, you can finally change the color of crystal armor. Yep, just go to Lillian's Wares Impriptinus and you can change it to 8 different colors in total. You could change each piece of armor separately, match them all, go crazy, do whatever you think looks good.
Yeah, also, it's funny because exactly like whenever the corrupted Bofa and sword came out, all of the black crystals were sold out for the entire first day.
Really?
Yeah.
Everyone's so emo. I love it.
Yeah.
I think Ark did the black one. Annan did green. They both look so good. My character's blue, though, so I don't know what would look good with my character.
You know, honestly, the black one I thought looked really good.
I think it looks super cool. But Annan's looked really good with the green with the range cape because it has the orange, and the orange matches like the anguish necklace. That was actually like very cute. I was like, wait, I didn't think I was gonna change mine, but I like this.
Yeah.
But also my character's blue, so it look weird.
I like the black because the black they did with a purple person. And so it was like black and purple. I thought it looked
actually
really
black
good.
might look cool since my character's blue.
Yeah.
I'm gonna wait. As of yesterday, at least the Fashionscape plugin wasn't totally working, but there's a Fashionscape plugin that you can see what stuff looks like, and I want to do that before I buy it to see what color I like the most.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're really pretty. If you change yours, let me know what color you change it to. Next up, herbalists are now able to bridge the gap in the anti-fire potion family with super extended anti-fire potions created by mixing extended anti-fire potions with crushed dragon bones. I hate how many times they say these long potion names.
Yeah, it's funny that I don't know if I'm misremembering, but they didn't go with the superior dragon bones, which I thought they were.
I thought they just said regular.
Yeah, I don't
remember.
I wasn't sure if whenever I read this, I was like, oh, I thought there was going to be superior, but I mean, I'm glad it's not superior, but I thought they were polling that. Maybe
I don't remember.
I just misremembered.
You just made that up.
It's definitely possible.
Over at Giant's Foundry, you are now allowed to sell back unwanted, untradeable rewards, except for the Colossal Blade, for 80% of the original price.
Yeah.
And lastly, those of you who have yet to tackle the Devilish Light puzzle from Morning's End Part 2 will now be able to access the Death Altar during the quest using the Catalytic Tiara.
Something I found out recently about the Colossal Blade is I don't think it works with the boost from the Salve Amulet or the Slayer Helm.
That's really weird. Why?
I don't know.
That seems like a mistake.
Yeah,
seems
I
like
feel
something
like
that'll
it
probably be
should.
fixed.
No, I think it's been like that since it came out.
It's weird.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's going to be some more quality of life improvements from Pole 78 in the next update, including the Magic Secateur changes and making the spell icons bigger, which I'm excited for.
Yeah, that'll be nice. So starting off this update with the actual patch notes, we have the Wilderness boss rework tweaks.
What do you mean that was patch notes?
Well, that was like a summary of stuff. Last week's hotfix. So last week they made another bunch of changes regarding the recent Wilderness boss rework. Most notably, there were 2 major issues with the Earthsign Chain Mace special attack. I think that was the one that was making it so you can't run. One allowed players to avoid the slow effect, and others were causing the attacks to deal no damage against Callisto, Venenatis, and Vedion.
Love that.
These issues have now been fixed, and thank you for your patience. Also, from last week, we made a bunch of changes to the loot tables. We're still assessing each loot table's impact and value. So, for people that still think it's not worth it,
They're still working on it.
Keep letting them know, and maybe they'll change it. But there are new changes. So Rejoice players can now switch between a powered staff and auto-casting variant of Thameron's Scepter. They added minimap icons for the escape caves just outside of the Wilderness boss layers, and fixed an issue where Venenatis' and Spindle's HP bars were moving during their attack animations. Also, leaving the escape caves without auto-retaliate turned on will no longer force your character to walk in a random direction.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
It's
because
random.
why else would you not do that? So finally, we've got the drop rates from both versions of the new bosses, and they also, I think this is something that they added in after the fact whenever I first read this, but they added the drop rate for the broken pickaxe,
What you get from Volcanic
which
Mine.
you get from Volcanic Mine, which is 1 out of 100 per ore pack, which I think the ore packs are 4,000 each, so that's
Oh, my
a
God.
lot of points.
Yeah.
Yeah, lot of points. But I mean, I guess that's actually kind of on par with what I was seeing because
Hmm.
like 200,000 kind of didn't seem like enough, but people with a million were getting a couple of them, so that makes sense.
Yeah.
They go on to say that with the bosses in the multi areas, everybody that takes part in the kill is eligible for a pet. This is something that Mod Goblin, I think, emphasized a couple times in the subreddit,
Anyone can get it.
that everyone that attacks the boss that would normally be getting loot has a chance to get the pet.
Hmm.
Each individual will get a unique and or get a unique slash pet roll with its chance modified by their contribution.
Even though that makes sense, I do hate it though because I never know what my true drop rate is.
It makes sense, but also it sucks that it couldn't be clarified any further because of the very last couple words. It says the pet roll with its chance modified by their contribution. So we don't actually know if these are actually the drop rates and by
Yeah.
how much
So
contribution you have to do to get these drop
I'm
rates.
imagining it's kind of like whenever you look at skilling pets and they're like, it's one out of this plus your base times 25.
Yeah.
So the base drop rate for the pet is 1 out of 2,000.
Yeah.
From the big boss, the baby boss, 1 out of 2,800.
Yeah, so it's
But if
like
you're the worst on the team,
if
like,
you're
I don't know how much
the
that scales.
if you're consistently the 10th person getting the loot, then does that mean it's like 1 out of like 10,000?
I know they don't tell us how big this window is.
Yeah,
I'm like, is it significant?
they're like you might be here for a year, you might be here for 5, who
Yeah.
knows? Either way, though, we have the drop rates for most of the important items from these bosses. I'm not going to say them all because there's many numbers here, but just so you know, it's seemingly actually not that bad.
Yeah,
For
all Void Wakers are 1 out of 360, and everything's basically like 1 out of 512 or less. But
y-
that's the new item. The new item, the Void Waker.
yeah, so they have all the drop rates for the normal versions of Callisto, Venenatis, and Venion. These are the multi bosses. And they also have the drop rates for the lesser versions, Ardio, Spindle, and
Yeah, I was
Calvarion.
sharing the multi boss.
Yeah. But to be fair, it seems like the drop rates for the lesser bosses actually aren't as bad as I would have
It's
anticipated.
like 3 times as much.
It usually seems like it's about 3 times as much, except for most of the like loot drops, except for the case of the rings where it's about one and a
And
half
the dragon
times.
two-handed sword.
The dragon, I'm not even gonna count, but the dragon pickaxe is like 1.5 times as well.
Oh, something notably though, the Revenant upgrade items like the Claws of Callisto, etc., that from the normal bosses is a 1 out of 196 drop rate.
Yeah, it's
So
actually
that's
pretty
actually,
high.
yeah, that's not too bad.
It does seem like if you are a pet hunter, that it actually isn't that big a deal to go for either the multi or the singles because
Supposedly, we don't know how much it scales though.
exactly that's
I
why
hate that.
that's why I'm saying I don't think it's actually that big a deal. I think you might have a better chance at getting the pet from the lesser bosses unless you are soloing the multis.
Okay, how about this? Future Michelle, when you're editing this, tweet at a mod and say, if you're the worst out of the 10, what is the pet drop rate?
They will not answer you.
Ugh.
Yeah, so because it's 1 out of 2,000 for I'm guessing a solo player, so maybe if you go with a duo, you might have a better chance at getting the pet from the multi boss.
Just like
But
next, it's so tricky.
it's 1 out of 2,000 for the multi boss and 1 out of 2,800 for the lesser boss. But again, it is changed by how much you contribute, so
Yeah.
it might just straight up be better for you to. It honestly for all of these except for the Revenant upgrades, it seems like it might just straight up be better to do the solo bosses.
Yeah, the Revenant upgrade seems fine though.
Unless again you're doing them solo or duo or something like that.
Callisto, at least when you're a mass, it's really, really fast. So I haven't tried any of the lesser, but I know that they'll obviously take longer.
Yeah. So yeah, this is pretty interesting to look at the drop rates. They do seem pretty good so far, but again, that is altered by how many people there are there.
Mhm. Moving on to the Secret of the North changes. Again, We haven't made any direct changes to Seeker of the North this week, but we have brought a related change to the rest of the game.
Yeah, this is what I think is breaking a lot of the.
Yeah, it's kind of related to the hotfix earlier.
Yeah.
So the Phantom Muspa introduced a new stat called Freeze Resistance, which put its chance to be frozen on a scale rather than a binary value. We decided to roll this out to other NPCs this week. So it won't affect our current gameplay. NPCs will still either be freezable or not freezable, but it opens up more design options for the future. In a similar vein, we've also introduced a new stat called Poison Resistance, which will determine the chance an NPC has to be poisoned. Again, current gameplay will remain exactly the same.
So they thought.
But yeah, it made so Chinchompas are now an endangered species.
Yeah. So yeah, they've added these things in preparation for future content, but obviously
They're already working on it.
already affecting some current content.
Yeah.
So hopefully they get that fixed soon, because that would be. I was thinking like, man, I'm really glad I'm not hunting Chinchompas right now, because that's mainly what I do.
Yeah.
As far as quest speed running, they added 2 new quests. X marks the spot, as well as a kingdom divided. So a
X marks the spot. I could do that. That's a nice one.
Yeah, a short quest and a very long quest.
Awful one.
So yeah, you have 2 of those to look forward to, including the Black Knight's Fortress.
That one's still in beta.
That's still in beta, and it doesn't actually have another one listed, so it might just be one this week.
Well, yeah, they said that only one's in beta because the next one is gonna be a real big one.
Oh, so it's probably like Monkey Madness,
Song of the Elves or something.
Yeah, Monkey Madness 2 or something like that.
Yeah.
They do, of course, still have the beta worlds, so it's Black Knight's Fortress for now, but obviously there's going to be more, and you probably already know where those are. As far as the next thing, this is probably one of the surprisingly most controversial things in recent time, but this is the fairy ring design.
It's actually so annoying. Turns out you do believe in the fairy ring graphical update. You do. We've discussed your feedback from last week, and basically they destroyed the beautiful beam of light in the fairy ring.
Yeah, so previously there was a double helix, which a lot of people didn't like.
They were like, this doesn't even make sense for lore.
And then there was like a slight beam,
which people didn't like.
Before that, which people also didn't like.
And now there's just butterflies.
So now they've removed it all.
There's no beam, it's just butterflies.
And
it still looks pretty, but it's like, it's kind of lame that people complain that much about a beam of light.
Yeah. I know I saw a lot of people in the comments saying that they liked the beam of light a lot, but obviously it didn't win, so.
Obviously, they didn't vote for this in the poll.
No, this wasn't voted on. It was just people
complaining on Reddit.
Their feedback didn't win.
But yeah, I didn't submit any feedback, to be fair. But yeah, they changed it. It's not just butterflies. They also go on a really long thing to explain why they had that in the first place. But honestly, I feel like we've gone over that 3 times now.
Yeah.
Basically, the boxes are weird. They had to add something there. The end.
No, the only thing that you might be interested in is they actually do have some reasoning for. A lot of people were wondering why you can't just have it so that whenever you're wielding a drum and staff, it should be able to like either toggle the effect or be able to change it to some extent. So because obviously these don't matter to you unless you're wearing a drum and staff. But they do say that normally we let these things turn on and off. We turn a normal location into a multi-location where each state corresponds to a different option. But as you know, fairy rings are already multi-location, and you can't add another multi-location to determine a different kind of state on top of that.
Basically, developmentally, it would not work.
Yeah, so yeah, it pretty much boils that down to that. Their functionality just doesn't work that way, and so that's why, while that does seem like a really good idea, just only have it on while you have a drum and staff, it's just not currently possible with the way this works. Or if it does, then maybe they just don't want to do the work for it, because it's probably going to be a lot of work.
I do think it's funny. After the end of this very long explanation, they say, that was fun, huh? We hope you enjoyed the insight and technical complexities of your favorite magic mushrooms. And I'm like, I wanted to skip all that because I have no interest in hearing about why this doesn't work.
Yeah.
I'm like, just tell me it doesn't work. I believe you.
Yeah. So
I know some people are interested. I'm just a hater.
Yeah, if you want to know how and why it doesn't work, they have many paragraphs on it.
Maybe the reason I get annoyed with this is because it reminds me whenever I was trying to learn like coding and stuff just wouldn't work.
Yeah,
I would get very frustrated.
Okay. Interesting.
Michelle's a hater. What's new?
Yeah, either way, so the new welcome screen is next on the list, and of course the old welcome screen has been removed.
I don't even know what it looked like. I've had the new one.
Yeah, we've had the new one for quite a while, and it's pretty, simple. It tells you kind of what's going on, if you have any messages, as well as how many days of membership you have. But they're actually talking about even making it a little bit more interesting and a little bit more
Oh.
telling as far as information goes. So they are saying that potentially they could upgrade the screen to make it so that it shows you not only how many stuff is in your inbox, but also what, if any, current polls are active, as well as if you have a bank pin and if it's enabled.
Can you imagine logging in after like being on vacation for a week and seeing bank pin disabled?
Yeah.
I'd be like, oh God.
Yeah, exactly. So
Terrifying.
they
I think
say
that's a good one, actually.
they'd like to explore the possibility of expanding what the welcome screen can do, as we've discussed, letting you set a bank pin directly from that screen and the possibility of direct access to poll menus. And they have a little image below showing a mock up of what it could potentially be.
I think that'd be a good idea to add those.
Yeah. Besides that, though, there's really not too many other changes. Just a couple that include increasing the clan coffer to the first real amount, in my opinion, being 50 million coins. I think previously it was like 10,000 when it first came out, and then they upped it to like a million or 5 million, something like that.
I don't even remember.
But now it's finally 50 million. But yeah.
Remember, people can just take that money without asking, so only put in there if you actually want to share with your clan.
Yeah, or make sure to assign the appropriate roles to those people.
Yeah.
Player-owned house servants are now less prone to getting stuck, and the fire.
I don't like that. I like whenever I use my fairy rings and they follow me and they get stuck on islands.
No. The fire warriors of Lesarcus is no longer duplicated when two players summon
I
him
would like
simultaneously.
to say, I've never heard of this man before in my life.
Yeah, I mean, apparently
Who?
you could summon him.
What? You just made that up.
I know.
You just made up that name.
And finally, there is another clue for Crack the Clue 3. We're back once again to give you some more direction. Hopefully these hints will help you find the right path.
Luke's is legitimately too good at clues.
He is
or at
legitimately
puzzles.
too good at the game.
Actually.
But yeah, that is it for the update. Just implementing all of those things from Poll 78.
Yep.
As well as a couple other random things. Hopefully you all are enjoying your crystal armor and wondering, like me, why it's still not corruptible.
And PvP Arena will be on Zerker for this week.
It will be. But I think this is probably the most exciting thing of the week.
The big boy of the week isn't even the update. It's the new Forestry Overview.
Yeah, this is a very, very long blog, so we are certainly not going to be reading it all.
Absolutely not. I'm just already scrolling down. Because
But
they're just talking a lot about how they decided to do it. And I'm like, that's not what we need to know.
yeah, with all that being said, though, this is a very interesting and very exciting update.
Okay,
so,
we're gonna read all the details of the activities. Don't worry, because we're excited about this.
Yeah, so I'd highly recommend checking it out. It's almost as if it's a new skill with all the stuff they're implementing. So,
And honestly, the graphics for it are really pretty that they put.
yeah,
Whoever this artist is, well done.
they're definitely like working hard on it in like Adobe After Effects or something like that.
What if they'll use like Blender or something?
Yeah, probably. But also, this is something that did pass with a 90% pass rate. So
Huge.
a lot of people were looking forward to this.
Very much wanted. And it seems like Forestry will probably be available for a quest that would lead to it.
Yeah,
And they'll teach you how to do it.
they did say that, yeah, there is going to be a prerequisite quest.
So with this update, we wanted to make woodcutting a more social activity. Currently, trees that give more than one log have a 1 in 8 chance to deplete, and each tree has its own regrowth timer. This mechanic means that it's better for players to chop trees on their own, which makes competition for resources fierce and the skill as a whole a solitary endeavor. To help support group play and reduce competition, we'd like to offer the following changes. Trees will despawn on a timer that activates after the first cut and regenerates if the player stops cutting the tree before it's fully chopped. And the timer length would be based on the average time each different type of tree currently lasts. Also, players chopping the same tree get an invisible woodcutting bonus that scales with the number of players up to a maximum of 10. So they're literally rewarding you to hang out with other people.
Yeah, so it seems...
Which is nice, really
it seems
nice.
kind of cool, like it's along the lines of like an MLM upper floor kind of deal,
Mhm.
where as long as someone starts cutting it, it doesn't matter how many people are on it.
Exactly. Because it's like, as is now, when you want to go into redwoods, like if you're anything like me and have weird guilt about taking over people's places, I like hop until I don't see anyone because I'm so scared someone's gonna get mad that I like take their spot.
Yeah.
It's not social at all.
Also, it's kind of cool because it does incentivize multiple people being on it, and it reminds me of how in Ark, or Lost Ark, sorry, it's like that's another MMO, but what's cool is whenever two people start chopping the same tree, it'll like go from one person chopping to two people like using a saw blade to like
Oh,
cut
I
it
love that. I
down.
think you told me that
Yeah,
before.
so I think we mentioned it here before, but that's kind of reminds me of
That's
that,
so cute.
where it's like just two people are a lot better than one. So
Aw.
plus 10 is actually kind of like a big deal.
We'll just have like a really round saw that we're all using. That wouldn't work.
No, certainly not.
We understand that some of you will feel trepidation about altering the current trees in the game. As an alternative option, we'd like to offer mighty variants of every tree. They work similarly to superior Slayer creatures and will offer more logs, longer despawn timers, and a chance to spawn special events. We want to know which approach to prefer: new mechanics for old trees or mighty trees new behavior, or perhaps you'd like both. Either way, they do have a survey and you can let them know your thoughts. I'm going to say both.
Yeah, I like both. And they have little diagrams for all of these things as well in case you're more of a visual
Yeah,
learner or
it's
something
low
like
key kind
that.
of small and hard for me to read.
Well,
So,
you can click on it
yeah, I
and
was going to
zoom in.
say you're going to have to go and zoom in.
Yeah, you can click on it and zoom in, and it does tell you like how each system would work. So
Yes.
make sure to keep that in mind. The next thing is going to be the forestry kit as well as items. So,
very cool.
chop chop, your axe is far from the only trusty tool that you'll need in a forestry journey. To really succeed, you'll need a forestry kit full of useful bits and bobs for any budding forester. This wearable item will let you store a plethora of new tools and materials so you can interact with Gilnor's forest in a whole new way. It's going to be absolutely essential for most of the content we plan to introduce in this expansion, and luckily, you'll get a basic one in the introductory quest.
Huge.
However, however, any good workman knows he must upgrade his tools, and the forestry kit is no exception. You can craft new additions to the kit from existing items like metal bars or leather, combining with the new items from the Freaky Forester's store. To get your hands on his wares, you'll need to trade a brand new, untradeable currency only found in the forestry, which is called anima infused bark. You can find this while cutting down trees, but the main way you'll earn it is by participating in events. So they do go on to say that the upgrades, the kit upgrades, are going to be tradable themselves. So you can buy them with these anima things and then sell them on the market if you like, or obviously just keep them for yourself if you're an Iron Man or something like that. So by the by, you'll be glad to hear that your nifty forestry kit also holds all of the consumable items you need for forestry events, which is going to be good because there is a lot of forestry
There
events.
is a lot. I was actually surprised.
Yeah, I'm quickly going to go over all the stuff that fits in the forestry outfit or in the forestry kit.
No, this doesn't all fit in the forestry kit, does it? I thought
Yeah.
this was just stuff.
No,
Really?
it all does.
Oh.
Yeah, don't worry, it's fine. So let's take a look at the kind of gear that you could get your hands on. Please note that the costs listed here are only estimates.
Let's just not even say the cost.
Yeah, so we're just really just gonna say what they are. So the first thing is gonna be the clothes pouch. Allows players to store lumberjack outfit pieces to get the bonus while being able to wear whatever fashionscape they fancy.
This is actually massive. If
Yeah.
they do this for every like necessary outfit, like even graceful honestly can be fashionscape, but still they should do this for every kind of skilling outfit.
Yeah, so not everything here is going to be able to be put onto your forestry kit.
That's why I was saying, because he said it's in your forestry kit, and I was like, I don't think that you put a pouch in your kit.
No, not these first items, but all of the items after these first items will be.
There's a lot of items.
Yeah. So the first thing, like we said, was the clothes pouch, which is cool because it allows you to store your lumberjack outfit and get the benefits of it. So you can wear graceful, but it'll take the lumberjack outfit will always take precedence.
So your graceful won't actually work.
Your graceful will not work if you have this equipped or in your inventory or however it's going to be.
Yep.
It says bonuses are not stackable and it'll always take priority.
Yeah.
The next thing is going to be the Forester's Rations. It restores some of your run energy after chopping down a tree. Likely, it's going to be scaled by tree difficulty. Forester's Scone increases the chance to spawn events based on the number of other foresters with scones cutting at the same tree, up to a maximum of 10 other scones. Imagine 10 people on a tree. Secular attachments, you can gather more leaves, but you'll gain fewer logs.
Yeah, we'll get to leaves later, but they're going to be actually useful now.
Yeah. Forester's Lucky Charm. Actually, all of these next ones I'm just going to go through because they're actually all just things that increase the chance of an
Special
event
events.
happening.
Yeah.
So you're going to have Forester's Lucky Charm, the Petal Circlet for Dryad events, Wind Chime for Fairy Magic, Bee Smoker for the Beehive event, Sturdy Harness.
These are no longer the events.
These are no longer. It's weird because they
They
mix
should
them
have put that
up
at the end.
because there is going to be a slingshot ammo for a pheasant event, bee on a stick for a flowering tree event, nature's offering,
This is not an event
which is
again.
not an event offering, but they have squirrel treats, which are an event offering. So there's going to be a ton of different events, like we said.
I'm not loving the order that they put everything in here.
No, me neither.
It makes it kind of tricky to say out loud to be like, these three are events. This one's not an event, but this one's an event, but this one's not.
Yeah. Going back though, the sturdy harness is a pretty cool item. It's going to be able to combine the log basket and the forestry kit to make one equipable item.
Hey.
This is going to, I assume, make it so you can carry more logs.
Did we even say log basket?
No.
Well, the log basket does what it
not-
sounds like it would do. It carries logs in a basket.
Yeah, not everything is listed here.
It's kind of annoying.
Yeah, and the the final thing is going to be nature's offering. It has a chance to gain extra resources when cutting trees. Chances are increased based on the number of foresters cutting the same tree.
Yeah,
So,
everything just rewards you the more people are there. It's
yeah,
great.
again, everyone's going to be wanting to share trees as much as possible.
Yep. Moving on to the forestry events. Usually we need entire new areas to add new bits of content to skills. Not so with forestry. Our aim is to upgrade familiar parts of the world with new and exciting activities. Wherever there are trees, there's forestry, with the exception of the Woodcutting Guild and the Odd Few Dungeons. Kind of funny, not the Woodcutting Guild.
Well, because that's already kind of like, wood cutting
But
based.
that's where,
I don't think they want everyone to be in the same place.
I was like, that's where everyone gathers for redwoods, though.
I mean, yeah, well, there's no redwoods in the wild, so.
Okay, never mind. Along these lines, we've added a variety of special events where you'll meet all sorts of foresty friends. It's like the good old days when you'd be happily chopping away and an evil tree spirit would pop out and smack you. Except nobody's evil, and the only thing you're getting smacked with is a ton of loot.
Wow.
By ton of loot, they mean like leaves and stuff.
Leaves.
Anytime you have the right gear equipped while equipping logs, you'll have the chance to spawn a world events that everyone can interact with. A new event won't spawn in a given area until the previous one's finished, so chop chop. The more players there are, up to a limit, the higher chance an event will spawn, so gather your friends and get back to nature. While you're riding with the squad, let's take a look at the kind of events.
They have a full list of many different events.
Yeah. Should we just read the events and the description and not read that? We could just go back and forth, or we could just say something.
Yeah, sure.
So a couple of them are rising roots, and this is basically roots are going to appear from the ground, wrap themselves around the tree to protect it, and while this can be heartwarming, it's inconvenient. So we have to go and cut the clingy roots off of the tree. That's actually kind of depressing.
Yeah.
My favorite one. Do you want to read it?
Sure. So we have Friendly Ent.
Oh my gosh.
The friendly ant has been woken from its long slumber in dire need of a haircut. Help it out by trimming the entlings around the tree. Avoid tickling them too much or you'll be knocked back.
The cutest thing. I love it. Next up is the beehive. A hive full of buzzy bee buddies are looking to relocate, and it's your job to find them a new home. So you're going to build bee boxes near the tree and wait for the friendly beekeeper to show up and deliver them safely to their new abode.
And the next one is pheasants. The population of these not so pleasant pheasants is getting out of control. Grab the slingshot and appropriate ammo from your trusty kit and help
kill them.
manage the population.
Kill them. I know, it got kind of dark there.
I know.
Flowering tree. Grab your trusty bee on a stick, available in any good forestry kit, and help a newly spawned flowers around the tree. Collect the pollen and use it on a nearby tree in order to let it bloom. That one's pretty cute. I imagine the animations are going to be adorable for that.
Yeah. While there are no more regular events during chopping, there are 5 more events when chopping.
So after the tree's down.
But before we get into that, I did want to make sure we cover the fact that one of the rewards from the pheasant event could be a new pheasant pet.
Oh, I didn't even notice.
It says pheasant pet question mark, question mark, question mark. So potentially another 2 pet.
Also, it does say pheasant
skill.
feathers to make fancy clothes. God, so many alliteration. Oh, also one more thing, because I was thinking, they mentioned later that there's like Loki made recolors for the beaver. Just a spoiler alert for you guys. What if they could have a recolor to turn it into one of the little friendly entlings?
No.
Yes. Thank you. Wait, that would just look like kangaroo, huh?
Yeah. So the when chopped events, there's 5, like I said, during chopping and 5 after chopping events. The first one's going to be the leprechaun. So when this cheeky fella appears, you'll be able to deposit your wood cutting items straight to your bank.
Next up is Dryad. Mystical name as they are in nature, these ancient beings will sometimes appear and allow players to offer logs as tribute. How generous of them. And this will be giving you nest and bird eggs.
And woodcutting XP.
Yes.
The next is going to be enchantment ritual. So again, the dryads will sometimes appear and ask for help in a ritual, following the instructions given in order to successfully cast the enchantment. And this is also going to grant extra XP as well.
Yeah, I should say we're not reading most of the rewards. Most of them give XP.
Yeah,
We're
most
just
of them
reading
are
what they
just
do.
yeah, most of them are just extra wood or extra XP
Or like
something
bark.
that. Yeah.
Struggling sapling. A poor struggling sapling needs your help to grow big and strong. Rake the right combination of falling leaves on the sapling in order for it to flourish. Be quick though, or it could wither and die.
Yikes. And the last one, which is poachers. You carelessly chop, or your careless chopping has scared a fox out of its den, and poachers are after it. So you have to make sure to do the only good thing out of any of these and stop the poachers.
You tackle them. You kill them.
Yeah, so
Which is funny because we're like kind of poaching the pheasants.
yeah, absolutely. But apparently, since they're a nuisance, it's okay.
Yeah.
All of the events will scale in experience and difficulty depending on the number of players present. This ensures that you'll be rewarded or well rewarded for your efforts, even while playing in a large group.
Awesome.
It seems really, really nice.
Heck yeah.
Yeah. As you can see, each event adds a little something different. Feel free to gun for your favorites using the stuff in your forestry kit. So if you want, you can fully upgrade your chance of getting a certain type of event if you don't want to deal with all of them.
Yeah, like the items we mentioned earlier will make it more likely for them to spawn.
Yeah, like if you really like the leprechaun showing up, then you can get the thing that spawns the leprechaun, which is going to be the forester's lucky charm.
Yep. Moving on to campfires, leaves, and tea. Tree leaves already exist for some trees and can be attained by planting your own trees and chopping them down. We want to expand the number of trees that can be obtained from and give them some cool new benefits to boot and allow obtaining them while chopping trees, not just farming. Also, the first time I ever got leaves, I thought that they were like supposed to be something really cool because they just like look kind of cool when the first time you see them.
I don't even know what you're talking about.
You cut down trees, sometimes you get leaves.
I've never got leaves ever.
It's weird.
in
Yeah,
all
it
the
has to be
time
your
I've
own
been-
trees.
Oh, maybe that's
It's
why.
rare.
Oh, I think that's why, because I never chop my own trees down.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
I used to.
I immediately just pay
Pay
them.
them. I do that now too.
Yeah.
In forestry, each type of leaf will have its own set of useful effects that can be used all over the game. The aim is to increase the utility of woodcutting without replacing potions. We haven't fully committed to the details. We want to give an overview of the effects we've been exploring so far. So, combat, this would boost combat skill levels. Production ones, boost production skill level. Gathering, of course, will boost gathering skill level. And power, this will boost the power of the leaf effects. It adds no power to empty categories. And duration, increases duration of the boost effect. They also go on to show an entire table just showing like what kind of leaves you'd get and what kind of pots you can make with those leaves. We're not going to go over it because this is very expansive.
Yeah.
But
Just so you
like-
know, they have everything from fruit trees and exotic fruit trees all the way down to normal trees.
And Arctic pines.
Arctic pines,
So,
maples,
like-
mahogany, everything.
Yeah, and an example would that be normal trees can just add to duration, whereas maple trees can add to gathering skill level or duration. So it just, they pick and choose random ones, and they're not
Yeah.
committed to this yet.
Yeah, this is just an idea. So, for example, if you are really interested in making combat improvement stuff, then you're going to want to plant mahoganies and just specifically go for mahoganies because those offer the best combat benefits.
Yes. Tentatively.
Tentatively. So, moving on to foresters' campfires. So, how do you use these leaves? Like we said before, forestry is intended to make woodcutting more social, and where better to socialize than around a nice, toasty campfire. You'll no doubt be familiar with the mechanics here. Whack out some freshly chopped logs, light them up, and you've got yourself a fire. To upgrade to a cozy campfire for forestry, just add up to 15 leaves. Depending on which leaves you add, you and anyone joining you will receive a buff. If you'd like a slightly bigger bonus, you can choose to consume a forester's ration while in range of the campfire. This will also restore a bit of run energy. There's nothing like a hearty meal to keep you going.
I would like to pause real quick and say I love the forestry update because it's kind of like we're getting 2 new skills this year now.
Yeah, this is
So cool.
It's such a large overhaul. Like I said, it might as
Yeah.
well just be a new skill.
It's so great. They need to do this for mining. Smoothing.
Absolutely.
They do it for quite a few skills.
Quite overdue for mining.
So, tea brewing. The second way to receive the benefits of leaves let you fully customize your bonuses, kind of like what we were just saying. Going back to the table for an example. Say you want to brew up an oak tea for a nice combat boost, but you plan to be out for a while, so you want the bonus to last longer. and you add some Arctic pine leaves. Not only do they increase the duration of the buff, they also add more power, making the brew more effective overall. You'll be able to add a maximum of 10 leaves, depending on your brew level, to a tea, and any combination you like. Effects stack, so brew made of 10 oak leaves will have different effects than one that only includes two or three. This is a system which encourages you to experiment. Who knows, you may even discover some secret combinations. Be aware that tea only affects one player at a time. After all, you wouldn't want someone else sipping your brew. I love that.
Yeah,
Just
and
a nice little herbal-ish thing going on.
They do have a little diagram showing kind of what they have in mind currently. So, for example, you can add an oak, which gives more combat and duration, a yew, which gives a lot of production and duration, magic, which gives a lot of power, and willow, which also gives power. And then all of that would combine to make a seemingly +6 combat, +8 production with two extra durability drink.
The thing is, usually you're probably not going to be combining multiple skill types. It's kind of like brew spices, I imagine.
Yeah,
like, why are you going to need combat and production?
Yeah, you'll probably just go for all combat and all duration.
Yeah, that's what I imagine at least. I mean, we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, and you can brew up to 10 leaves at any one time.
Yep.
So they do show that plus any of the pluses, so a +6 to combat is +1 level. So
it'll literally be +6 to your combat.
Yeah, so I'm guessing that if you had a maximum potion, it'd probably just be like having a combat potion.
Yeah, it's not going to replace combat potions by any means.
Yeah, and there's also a chance to go higher when it is drunk, and an extra plus for duration is an extra 30 seconds.
Nice.
So yeah, pretty interesting.
That'd be
system.
really cool. That'd be really good for boosting for skilling.
Yeah.
Actually, that'd be really nice.
Yeah, exactly. And they do.
Is this replacing spicy stews, kind of?
I don't. Well, I don't think.
It kind of seems like it will be like an alternative to it.
Yeah, it might be if it does work like that, then yeah, no one would ever use spicy stews because those suck.
Yeah, but I'd not be mad if we replaced spicy stews.
Yeah, we don't really know what it means by production or gathering, like
That's
what
true.
skills it will or won't affect, and if it's an actual boost or what.
Yeah, I mean they're still working on it anyway, so we could speculate all we want, and they could just change it next week.
Yeah, they do go on to talk about iron players though. Now, some of you prefer to go it alone. We're talking about you, iron players.
You, Robert.
We want to honor your pledge to stand on your own 2 iron feet by making sure that other players' campfires don't affect you. Group iron players, of course, are the exception. Members in the same group can benefit from one another's campfires, and obviously, all iron players can receive buffs from campfires they've made themselves. However, your solitary lifestyle won't lock you out of the forestry fun. Iron players will be able to fully participate in forestry events, even if they personally don't have the right consumable in their forestry kit. There is a section in the survey below that deals specifically with how you'd like forestry to interact with iron game modes. Make sure to fill that out.
Yeah, that seems cool.
Yeah, so
that irons, they're not like, you can't do any events unless you're alone.
I'm kind of conflicted. Like, I think obviously iron should be able to participate in the events, but I was like kind of conflicted with like not getting any of the effects from the campfire. Like, I hope you're still able to use them.
You can't use other people's though.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, I hope you're still able to use them. Like, because obviously you have to make the tea and stuff like that. Like, I hope it. I feel like it'd be kind of lame where it's like there's a perfectly good campfire there.
You have to make your own.
And you have to you're like, all right, I guess I'll go make my own right next to yours.
I think that's literally what it means.
I know.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. It's kind of lame.
You could respond to them and be like, as an iron, lame.
Yeah, I'm like, I feel like I should just be able to use their campfire for myself.
Yeah, they're looking for feedback. So if you also have thoughts, be sure to tell them.
Yeah, because it's just kind of dumb. It's like there's a perfectly good campfire and I have to make one directly to the right of it or whatever.
Yeah, and it's just kind of silly.
Yeah, it's like all right, why wouldn't I just use that campfire?
Anyway, time to move on to our favorite part, the rewards. First up is going to be the log basket, which we kind of mentioned earlier. So this equipable item can store up to 28 extra logs for you to lug around.
So double your inventory.
Yeah, it can also be combined with a forestry kit and a sturdy harness to create a forestry basket, the perfect all-in-one storage for any fancy forester.
And it is equipable pretty much exactly like how the fish sack cape works.
Oh, yeah. Next up is the forestry outfit in recolors. Get medieval with the forester's outfit, which comes in a range of colors to suit your mood. The Get Medieval, I'm so curious what this is going to look like.
Well, I think it's because it's a medieval themed game.
No, like, what is it going to look like that's Forester and medieval? You're mean. This one's pretty cute.
So this is the player-owned housing bee box. Take care of your buzzing brethren with your very own bee box.
That's cute.
Yeah, I just imagine like beatboxing.
I was kind of thinking that too.
There's also a two-handed axe, something we've never seen before. Why use one hand when you can use two? These two-handed axes will come in various metal types. That gives more experience, but increases your cut time.
I like it. They honestly could have just added it as Fashionscape and have it be exactly the same. People would love it.
Yeah, but I think this is really cool.
Yeah.
The next thing is going to be the lumberjack outfit. Why does the lumberjack outfit come from temple trekking again?
No one knows.
Now we're giving you a more thematic way to earn this woodcutting bonus.
That's great. The arborist gloves. These hand items will augment your tree farming patches and allow you to get a variety of benefits, including reduced protection cost, higher yield, bonus XP, and slightly boosted growth time.
Nice.
Maybe you get me taking root faster. You could also get seed packs from them.
This is going to be the
Wait, you're going to be so
hugest-
excited about that, huh?
This is by far the hugest part of this entire update for Iron Man. It is not even
This one or the
remotely-
next one?
This one. It is not even remotely close.
You were just complaining about seeds last week.
Well, guess what? Guess how you get the best seeds in the game? Most reliably
Farming
from
contracts?
seed packs, from
Oh, yeah.
contracts.
So Robert's going to become a forestry locked account whenever this update
I'm
comes
sure
out.
someone will,
You and Alfresco
because
probably.
this is by far the biggest part of this.
Well, I thought you think the next one was big.
No, this one's big, but also I don't assume it'll be too crazy compared to how the Woodcutting Guild is currently.
Yeah, so this is the sawmill voucher. Get more planks for your pennies with these handy vouchers that give bonus planks when converting logs at sawmill.
Yeah,
At a
like
sawmill, so I think it could be any.
all this does really is save you a little bit of time and money. The other one, you just simply cannot get seeds from other things fast enough.
Yeah. Next up is the funky shaped log. This is the last one. Did you know that beavers have the power to color shift? Well, if you use the funky shaped log on a beaver pet, you'll unlock the option to change its color by giving it different log types.
That's
Imagine a magic one that just has like sparkles like the magic trees.
cool. Yeah, I think everyone will use that one.
That'd be so cute. I
Yeah.
like that a lot.
So overall, all of the rewards look really,
They sound
really
very
good.
rewarding.
They don't. They seem like pretty much the opposite of Tithe Farm, where they're all really useful.
I'm so excited for this update. I think this is gonna be so much fun.
Yeah. Also, sorry for the random shot at Tithe Farm. I just did that recently and was really
Yeah,
sad
what a
about the
hater.
rewards. So they finish off by talking about where the content sits. Hopefully, you now have a good idea of what forestry is and what it'll bring to the game. Now we want to discuss where the content will sit compared to other skilling experiences.
Ooh, I have thoughts on this.
Okay. We'll start with the basics. How forestry compares to your standard woodcutting adventure. We're aiming to give you more XP per hour than you get from cutting regular, boring trees. With the tradable rewards from events and buffs from campfires, we expect you to be in a better spot for both XP and GP per hour. Let's scale things up and take a look at redwoods. This is one of the most chill out woodcutting activities. They don't need tons of attention and make grinding out those last few levels a breeze. Since forestry is more interactive, we think it should also give more XP per hour than redwoods. Fair?
Yes.
One thing we don't want forestry to outshine are the high skill, high intensity woodcutting methods like two-tick teak chopping. You lot put major effort into figuring these methods out, and we don't want to devalue the time you've spent.
Pause. I saw a very good point
I
about this.
already know what you're going to say.
Well, because no, originally I agreed
And
with this.
I think well, if you're agreeing with the point that you're about to bring up, I think it's wrong.
Okay, so I agreed with this whenever I first read it. I'm still not opposed to it. I saw somebody point out that maybe they shouldn't have the best rewards for super tedious, not fun, can literally give you carpal tunnel activities. Basically. It's just like they're rewarding you the most points for something that can actually mess up your
You
body.
mean XP?
Yeah, they're giving you the most, points, XP,
Yeah, I was like,
for stuff that could literally like mess up your wrists. So I think because of that solely, I was like, oh yeah, they should reward more because it shouldn't be a viable option in this game to do something that could actually permanently mess up your wrist. Like that should be discouraged by them, I think. Personally.
yeah, so you're wrong.
Oh, yeah.
And I'll tell you why.
Fine.
Um,
Hater.
One, this is going to already give you more XP than it gives you now, which already means it's going to be a much more enjoyable thing to level.
Mhm.
Two,
Oh, I don't two-tick teaks. Let me say that. I did it before. Did not like it. I
No,
just don't think that
I
anyone
was
should
talking
feel
about
like they have
about
to.
forestry.
Oh, no, I know. I'm just saying, like, I would never choose 2 ticking teaks over forestry for
Well, yeah, and 2
XP.
is exactly that. You don't have to choose 2 ticking teaks.
Yeah.
Unless you're speedrunning, this is not only not a viable thing for you, but it's also not something you're interested in, and it's not rewarding for you.
I'm just saying for other people, you shouldn't be rewarded more for doing stuff that's more tedious on your body.
But that's also kind of a ridiculous take because why would you ever do the best strategies for raids? They're more sweaty and arguably much worse for you.
I know where people tell me, I'm like, no.
So it's just like, just because you personally don't want to do the highest skill cap things in the game doesn't mean you should take it out of the game.
Yeah, fair.
Because then we would just all resort to the easiest version of everything all the time.
I don't think that forestry will be easy, but I know what you mean.
You don't think forestry will be easy
Compared to like
compared to 2
AFKing.
ticking teaks?
No, compared to AFKing. It's like a scale.
Compared to anything, it's going to be very, very easy.
Hater.
So I think if you remove high skill cap things in the game, people will quit like me. Not because I like 2 ticking, but because there should be something that you can aspire
No,
to.
I don't think you should get it out. I'm just saying that shouldn't give the most XP.
But it requires more effort. Why would you not get more experience for more effort?
Never mind, you don't get it.
You're like, oh, you should get less experience for doing literally twice as much work.
It's not the more effort. It's the fact that in my mind, it's like they're rewarding you for doing stuff that's literally can be physically bad for your body.
Then don't do it.
Yeah, but I'm saying that morally, it feels weird that they're rewarding you for doing something that's physically bad for you.
Plenty of people
This is my hot take. I don't care.
Plenty of people don't have carpal tunnel from this. And carpal tunnel is also preventable to begin with. So it's
I would also like to say I'm not that invested in this, and we'll argue about it off stream, off recording.
Either way, so she's wrong, but
he's wrong. But anyway,
yeah. So she wants to remove everything hard in the game. We can continue
literally
on.
not what I said. Oh my god.
We're also still discussing where forestry should sit against psilocybin mushrooms, which gain you numalite and unidentified fossils alongside logs, making it one of the more profitable options. However, this activity is a bit riskier than forestry, as you might encounter tar monsters every time you try it. Let us know what you think in the survey. I think this is fine because psilocypes, yeah, you can die there.
Yeah, psilocypes are annoying.
Yeah, but it is one of the better options for training.
I know, I never did it because I think I went, got attacked, and I was like, I don't like this, and just left.
Yeah. In terms of intensity, forestry requires a lot more attention than other woodcutting methods. To get the most out of this content, you'll be taking part in different events, creating new items for your forestry kit, making campfires, and brewing teas. That's a lot of effort, so you'll want to make sure you're rewarded appropriately. Consequently, we're still discussing what the GP per hour is going to look like. Although you're getting a fun experience and loads of extra XP, we don't expect forestry to be a huge moneymaker, especially compared to bossing or, say, crafting blood runes. We mentioned before that forestry will introduce its own mini economy, so there will be an element of trading there, but where that's going to fit with the wider economy is still up for debate. Well, you'll also have to notice that forestry isn't limited to woodcutting. You'll get XP rewards for multiple different skills, including fire making, herb lore, cooking, crafting, fletching, mining, and smithing. And that list doesn't even cover the buffs you'll get from campfires and teas. Do you think these rewards are adequate? How could we entice you to give forestry a try?
I'm already in.
Yeah, so you can let them know in the survey. That's all of it for forestry. Like we said, it was long, and we did skip a ton of stuff. So if you want to know everything they have planned for forestry before you give feedback, or just to give feedback, then you can go to the blog and check out everything for yourself.
It's funny, we talked about it for like 40 minutes, and we skipped a lot of the graphs and stuff.
Yeah.
It's just always hard to read those. They never sound good when we read them.
Yeah. It's hard to... that's like doing math on the radio. Like, that's why they don't do it.
Exactly. But yeah, moving on to our Q&A now.
Overall, I think it's a pretty cool skill, though.
Oh yeah, sorry, I jumped the gun a little bit.
looking forward to it coming out for sure.
Oh, super! Do you remember when that was in the timeline? Summer?
Yeah, it's definitely not going to be for a few months at least. Mm-hmm. These are all just conceptual, so I wouldn't look forward to it anytime soon.
Dude, I actually want to start just AFKing redwoods again now that they're gonna have a beaver recolor.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, wait, that could be kind of cute.
Yeah, I would definitely not hold off on getting 99 or anything like that, because you could probably easily get it by the time this comes out.
You're probably gonna want these rewards anyway.
Yeah, you'll probably just do this for fun as a later thing.
I agree. But yeah, Q&A now. Sorry,
Yep.
I got a little too excited earlier for this.
Q&A.
First question is from Hariger on Discord. Inspired by Rob's deadlifting story, what NPC in OSRS could deadlift the most weight and which the least?
Okay.
Most weight, I would love it if this, for no reason at all, the gnome child.
Yeah.
Just because he's just like a weird little dude.
Okay.
He was jacked.
Okay.
There's no telling that he doesn't have like a six pack under his outfit. How would we know?
Okay.
The worst? I don't know. I was gonna say the wise old man, but I feel like you might answer that for the best.
I mean, he might be. I don't know.
Maybe like the chef in Lumbridge or something. He seems like weak. He just
Okay.
gives off the weak persona. I don't know why.
Yikes, that's pretty messed up. Chefs,
Well, whenever you talk to
chefs
him-
are pretty strong.
But he's not even a good chef, remember?
I mean,
He's a bad chef. He only works there because his dad like helped some evil people or something.
yeah, I mean that's not a bad choice. For my options, I was gonna pick the obvious choice, which was gonna be the strong man that's just outside the Tower of Life.
Always doing like
He's doing log
lift-
presses,
yeah.
so obviously he's strong. But I'm gonna pick something that would I think might win based purely on will alone,
okay.
which is the Viking that you fight during the trials.
Oh, he's melee only, right?
He's melee only,
Yeah.
and he fights like infinitely. Like you can barely beat him if you're
Oh,
like
and
very
you
well
technically
prepared.
don't beat him, right? Like your character passes out.
Usually, yeah.
Yeah.
You
Oh,
can.
that's good. That's
you
a good
can
one.
beat him, I think, but you have to be very well prepared.
Oh, you have to have the ring of recoil. I remember the thing. There's 3 phases. You have to get through 2, and then you can die.
Yeah, exactly.
Pass out.
To win the final one, yeah, you have to like have rings of recoil because you can't bring any combat.
He hits
stuff
you in 1 ticks.
He hits very fast. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that. That's a good answer.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
I forgot about him. And also because I don't think that the strongest person we're say would be flexing it like that guy at Tower of Life.
Maybe.
I think they'd be
yeah.
more humble
I
like
was
this
like
guy.
purely based on willpower alone, he might win.
I thought you were going to answer Wise Old Man for sure. And you know why? Because the Wise Old Man reminds me of another Wise Old Man from Hunter x Hunter who became really jacked at the end of the last season with the ants.
Yeah.
Do you remember?
Well,
He,
was
like, became
always,
huge.
He was always jacked.
Yeah, but he became like ridiculously jacked. He reminds me of the
I
Wise
guess
Old
so.
Man.
Okay.
I don't remember his name, but he does.
Yeah.
Least jacked.
Least jacked. This is gonna be King Rolled.
Honestly, yeah.
Yeah.
Honestly, that
I
might be a
mean-
better one than mine.
I mean, one, he doesn't do anything at all ever. It's just
And he
like
sucks.
yeah,
He
and
gives off the same vibes as the lumbered chef.
he does, yeah, and so he would definitely be one of the weakest in all of Gilnor.
True. And if you're a king, like you extra don't do anything, just have other people do it for you.
Yeah,
I like that. You have some better answers than me.
yeah. I know your answers suck.
Okay, you didn't have to be so harsh about it. Next up is going to be from Matt over on Instagram. So, moral question here. If you logged in and you realized a glitch increased only your account's XP rates by 10 times because of fault in digits, an extra 0 added, would you report it or exploit it? As a content creator, I must say report it because I think it would just be mega obvious if I exploited it. I think I wouldn't be that interested in exploiting it anyway.
Yeah,
I'd like to think that, but it is hard for me to think of this objectively, knowing that I do this as like my job, you know?
yeah,
It's hard for me to think. I feel like maybe if I never started streaming or anything and I didn't know anything about the game still, because honestly, streaming has introduced me to a lot of the game. I would maybe see myself doing it for like how I used to hate rune crafting, like maybe like lavas back then. But I think
okay,
now, especially knowing that I could get my account banned, I would report it.
yeah,
But yeah, I'm thinking before I started that, I didn't realize that you could get your accounts banned for exploiting stuff.
yeah. There's a thing.
Now that I know, I couldn't do it.
There's a thing for World of Warcraft, and a lot of companies are like this, where it's like they don't ban you for doing an exploit. They ban you for exploiting an exploit. So like,
So if you know it's an exploit.
yeah, like if it's very obvious where you've done like this, I don't know, like pretend like a duplication glitch like 100 times, it's like, all right, after the 10th time, you've definitely figured out this is a glitch and you're just exploiting it, and so you'll get a ban at that point.
So that'd be like in this situation, you log in for some reason, it's a special event, so you do it.
I mean, yeah, that would never happen. But yeah, if like for some reason, because I don't really look at the XP or the XP per hour whenever I'm doing stuff. So if I just logged in and did Gardens of the Rift a bunch,
You wouldn't even know.
I mean, I would know because I'd be getting crazy levels. But like, if I was like 92 and I was like, man, these levels are going up pretty fast, and then just logged out and didn't think about it, then in that case, I don't think I'd report it because I wouldn't notice it.
Hmm.
If I noticed it, I would report it just because I think it'd be too easy to find out, and
True.
you'd get rolled back or
But
deleted.
morally, what would you do? Would you
Um,
report it or exploit it?
it's not even a morality thing. I just think the game would be less fun with it.
Yeah.
Because I mean, that'd be like playing a
10 times is
game.
just such a huge boost.
That'd be like playing a game, and then they're like, "All right, you're at the last boss," and I was
Mhm.
like, "Oh, I just logged in."
Yeah, RuneScape's just one of those games that for me, like, it's like low-key never ending. I thought it's interesting because some people obviously I literally this never occurred to me till this week. I was raiding and somebody was like telling us basically like how we should do raids faster because the point of the game for them, they're thinking is that the point is to make money faster, buy the best gear, then retire the game. And I
Yeah.
was like, "Whoa, what?" And they were saying how they're hoping to retire this year. Like that didn't even occur to me.
Well,
So I have no
yeah,
reason to rush it because this is like my forever game.
yeah. Some people like beating games, but
Yeah, I like beating games, but MMOs don't seem beatable.
yeah, I mean they're really not.
Yeah, especially like with collection log. That
That's
will literally never be finished while we're
that's
alive.
kind of the point is MMOs can't really be beaten.
Yeah.
They
That's
can
why
be
that's why I only like playing one.
they can be beaten in essence. Like if you
If you get a quest cape,
let's
you can consider
pretend
beaten.
like if you've played Elder Scrolls Online, they have a bunch of raids. Let's
Hmm.
pretend you've done all the dungeons, done all the raids, got all the gear. Then a lot of people would say you beat the game.
Yeah.
But yeah, obviously it can never really be beaten.
That's something like how they keep adding like combat achievements, stuff like that. It just keeps it interesting, keeps it fresh, and it will like you'll always have stuff to do. That's something I love so much about RuneScape is you always have stuff to do.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so funny because until someone said the other day, like it never occurred to me that I'd ever want to retire the game.
Yeah, most people I don't think that way. Most people just get tired of the game or they've played it
Yeah.
too long and they want something different.
That's more my logic that if I stopped playing, it probably just because I was over it, it wouldn't be like, well, I feel like I've beaten it. Because I feel like I'll never feel like I beat RuneScape.
Yeah.
I
mean,
can finish
obviously.
combat achievements, just do like all this stuff, and I'll never feel like I beat it because I'll never have a complete collection log.
Yeah.
And no one ever will because it's cursed.
Yeah, unless you uninclude all of the mega rares which are third age and gilded, then technically yeah, you could complete it. But yeah.
I remember whenever I first found out that no one had finished the collection log.
Yeah.
That was like the most disappointing day of my life. I was like, what?
I mean, yeah, to get all those
I didn't
items.
know. I didn't think about
You'd
it.
have to repeatedly hit like 1 out of 200,000 drops.
Weird. It's just weird.
Yeah.
That was the bad day when I realized.
But yeah, no, I
You
probably
wouldn't
would
do
just
it, not even for moral reasons.
I'd probably just report it. It just wouldn't even be fun.
Yeah. That's it for the Q&A, but I did want to go back a little bit to Hariger responded to Ivor's question from last week.
Okay.
So this was an in real life question that we're all done with RuneScape now if you want to stop. Ivor's question was, what have been some of your favorite and least favorite medical problems to experience? And I just thought that Hariger's was nuts.
Okay.
Literally. So worst. One time I had a nut clogging my throat and I couldn't swallow. My saliva accumulated all the way up my throat and I could only lean over and spit. I could barely breathe. I was in a faraway location. The ambulance took an hour to come. Then they injected me with adrenaline to widen my throat. Took about a minute to work. It was the worst pain imaginable. Tried choking for an hour.
Yeah.
I was like, new fear unlocked. Thankfully, we will never live far away from ambulances because that's actually like a fear of mine is medical emergencies and in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah. You know what's funny?
I will always live in a city.
Another random fact.
Has that happened to you?
No. But a lot of people don't know, and I didn't know this until I was talking with someone that I know that went to like not medical school, but they studied biology and chemistry.
Mhm.
Is actually the whenever you have anaphylaxia from or I think that's what it's called. Whenever you get stung by a bee and you're allergic to bees.
Oh, anaphylactic shock.
Yeah, when you go into anaphylactic shock, they give you. I mean, what do you think they give you?
It's adrenaline, right?
Yeah, it's just straight up adrenaline.
I didn't know that widen your throat till I just read this.
Yeah, well, it's not just that. Like, adrenaline is so powerful at overriding your normal bodily like functions that it just gets rid of your
allergy?
Your allergies.
That's nuts.
Yeah.
Also, it was fine that I said that's nuts, and I forgot what the story was for a little bit. That was
Yeah.
funny of me.
So yeah, that's kind of interesting.
I didn't know that supposedly, because my sister told me this, because one of my nieces has had to have the shot thing, whatever.
Yeah.
That you're supposed to go to the ER after you use it.
Yeah, because
I didn't know
it
that.
kind of messes up your body. You don't have to, obviously. Like, you won't
Yeah.
probably
But hers
die.
was like a 4-year-old, so obviously she's gonna take my niece to the hospital.
Yeah, but yeah, a lot of adrenaline can really
I
mess
didn't
you
know.
up.
I thought
But
you just do it and then you're like, all right, chilling.
I mean, you won't be chilling, but I mean,
You probably should
you
go.
probably won't die.
It's not reassuring enough.
Yeah.
Anyway, Harger's best was when I got tested positive for COVID without symptoms and got to skip work for a week and spend some chill time alone in nature. Technically had to quarantine, so I biked a few hours away to a cabin.
Nice.
That made me think, what in the world, the most European thing, biked away for a few hours to my cabin? I'm like, that just sounds like something you do.
It's funny because that's something that you do in anywhere that's rural.
Oh yeah, we just live in Southern California, so it's like, I can't imagine biking for a few hours to be in the desert.
Yeah.
That's true. Weird.
Yeah, I was like, that's not unusual
I don't
at
know.
all.
Biking for a few hours just sounds crazy to me to get to a destination.
I mean, that is kind of, that's kind of far, obviously, but
Right?
especially if it's anywhere that's like during the winter. But yeah,
I read that and I was like, whoa, crazy.
yeah. But either way, that's cool.
Yeah.
I think that's all we have for the week, though.
Mhm.
No new blogs, nothing else. If hopefully you all enjoyed the podcast. Again, if you do have any questions, you can reach out to us on any of our socials, our Discords. We have special channels just for questions, or you can ask even whenever we are live over on Twitch.
Yes, I stream 5 days a week at twitch.tv/Bunebape. You can ask us on Twitter at Bunebapeosrs. Instagram is just Bunebape. YouTube is just Bunebape. We also have a new short out of me getting the two-way pet now. So go check that out. And hopefully we'll have some more shorts out in the next few days as well.
Yeah, we have more shorts and videos than ever before.
Well, ever before than 2 years ago. Because 2 years ago, you were pumping them out every day. That was,
Well,
that was crazy.
I didn't do any shorts.
True. We didn't do any shorts. We need to do more videos, though. I got 600 views on one of my shorts and got 1 cent.
Huge. But yeah, hopefully you all enjoyed it. Make sure to share this with everyone that you know.
Yeah, we've actually been getting like close to 200 listens an episode lately, which is like kind of a big deal for us.
Yeah, so thanks again for your constant
Thank you
support,
for
and
listening.
we hope you all enjoyed it. We'll see you all,
Very soon.
and bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Meet Merp.